Hi guys, I want to tell you this is where I am. So we're going for a little walk today. I've already walked away from the car. I'm just going to hopefully find my way back to it now, find the pathway and see where we are. But you can come with me and we'll have a little chat about Mounjaro and where we are. I've had a few days now to think about things and process things. I know I spoke to you the other day, I felt a bit more positive, but today I feel very much more positive. I've had time to think, process and move on, and I hope you guys have too. And we can work out what we're going to do. Now I've got some ideas and I'm going to share them with you where I am and share some bits and pieces that some things made me happy, some things made me not so happy, but I'm going to tell you about them anyway. Now I don't generally like to moan, but I'm going to have a little bit of a moan and it's all going to go on in this video. I'm going to run BT, run my titles, which I don't have. You might just see a car wash thing go psh, and that's me. Yeah, and let's go. So I'm currently in the same woods that I got lost in a week and a bit ago. It's all new to me. I love it here because you're sort of all undercover. So if it's roasting hot, you don't get too hot. If it's cold, you might feel cold. I don't know that yet. I'll let you know that in the winter when the winter comes. Now, by saying that, that's telling you two things. First of all, I've not been here before. I'm new to this area. And the second thing it's telling you is that I'm not giving up on my channel. I will still be here in the winter when it's cold and wet and damp outside. I'll still be out having a walk, telling you what I'm thinking and hopefully passing on any information I have that might help you. So let's do this. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about how I'm going to stretch out my pen. Not literally stretch it out, but stretch out the magic juice, the Mounjaro juice in it. How I'm going to make it last, hopefully twice as long. Now, I've had comments before from people about stretching it. You shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'll tell you about that. I'm also going to tell you about things to look out for that don't make me happy, where yes, we're up against it with finances and things, with the new price increases that are coming. And we think, as part of this community, which I think we are, that we should be trying to help each other, not trying to make a quick buck from each other, which another YouTuber is. I'll tell you about that as well, and tell you how to get around it. There is a way. And also just to tell you that life is good. Yeah? Excellent. Now, before I go any further, I just wanted to say it's been a while since I did my last video, mainly because I've been working extra hard. Now you're probably thinking, you're a London cab driver, Paul. You don't work hard. Well, yes, I have been. I've had to do a lot of hours recently. I told you before, we're going away on holiday in just under 3 weeks now. Today is Monday the 20th. No, it's not Monday. Today is Wednesday the 20th of August 2025. And in 2.5 weeks, we're going on our holidays. We're going to Montenegro. If anybody's been there, I understand it's a lovely place. Never been there before, but with a bit of luck, it'll be a bit of sunshine, and not that we're missing sunshine at the minute, but a bit of lovely sunshine, just relaxation time. And more than that, for me, it'll be a week and a bit with no driving. You know, as much as I don't mind driving for work, it's lovely to have a week off with no driving. So that's going to be great. So because I'm going on holiday and I'm self-employed, I don't get paid when I'm on holiday. Obviously, when you're employed, you get different things going on. You get holiday pay and everything else, but I don't get paid. So I have to earn my extra money to pay for the week when I'm not here, because I still have bills like everybody else. So that's why I've been working extra hard, and I will be for the next couple of weeks. So I will produce some videos for you and pass on my thoughts and my progress and everything else, how I'm doing, and fill you in. Now, progress, that's the next thing I want to talk to you about. Progress. I had a funny message yesterday from a lovely lady, Mrs. B. I've been calling her Barbara by mistake, but she actually calls herself Mrs. B. She sounds like a wonderful lady. She's been on Mounjaro a while now, and she told me that she had lost £5 this week, and that to me is amazing when you're a fair way into the journey. Often it happens in the first couple of weeks you lose more weight than usual, but to lose £5 in a journey fair way in, amazing. So well done, Mrs. B. But the success, the actual point of what I'm saying here was quite amusing, because she sent me a message yesterday, and she said to me, did she miss my video saying how much weight I lost at the weekend, because she knows I do my weigh in on a Sunday. And that touched a heartstring, because I know I tell you guys what I'm doing and everything else, but the fact that she actually remembered when I do my weigh in and everything else about being prompted, it was lovely. So thank you, Mrs. B, for thinking of me. I'll tell you my weight loss now. I had another good week on Sunday. I weighed myself. I'd lost another £2, and that's tremendous because it's another £2. So I've now gone down to 16 stone 1. I started off my journey on 17 stone 12 8 weeks ago. So that's absolutely fantastic. Really pleased with that. In foreign money, that's going from £250 down to 225, which is £25 loss. It's a lot, isn't it? That's like 4 healthy babies, isn't it? 4? Maybe 3. 3 thin babies, 4 healthy babies. And if Nat's out there, I don't want to dig any needles in them, right? Be told, Nat. Now, you missed that bit. I just got chased by a couple of dogs. They're quite cross that I'm talking to myself as I'm walking through the forest, but that's okay. It's all good, see? It's actually making me smile today like a loony, like I usually am. Now, I've got some looniness today to show you, but that won't be till a bit later on in the video. I want to tell you something else exciting that happened the other day. Not Mounjaro related, but this is just me personally related, I want to tell you about. And it's all down to you guys. Basically what it is, on Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, I got an email from YouTube. Now, it was a very significant email because it told me that I had now enough subscribers and watch hours to become part of the YouTube partner program. So thank you everybody for doing that for me. I didn't think it'd be possible. Didn't think I'd get anywhere near the number of people that I've got subscribed to me. It's actually over 1,000 people now and 4,000 hours of view time. I can't imagine anyone want to watch me for 5 minutes, but 4,000 hours, thank you all so much. It really makes a difference to this silly old man. Yes, I'm losing another £2 was really good. I'm very pleased about that. My dosage at the minute that I'm on, I'm splitting at the minute, so I'm actually on 5 milligrams a week, but I'm doing 2.5 on a Sunday night and 2.5 on either a Wednesday night or Thursday morning, depending what time I get home from work, if I'm up for digging a needle in myself. Not that it hurts. If you're brand new to this, it doesn't hurt. It's unfeelable. Now, while I'm on the subject, if you're new to the channel, just happened to come across me today, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Paul, the London cab driver. I talk too much, I go on, but I try and bring a little bit of light-heartedness if I can to the Mounjaro journey. We've all been under a lot of pressure. We'll go this way. We've all been under a lot of pressure recently with the talk of the price increases and everything else that's going to happen. Now, when we see that news headline last week, I myself panicked and I saw a 170% increase, which Eli Lilly have announced, and it put the shock of life into me, because basically I'm only 8 weeks into this journey, not done yet. I want to keep going, and I had to think, how can I do this financially? Now, I told you guys the other day what my plan was, and I did that. I've actually ordered the next 2 pens, which you can do from Asda. The next 2 pens in my journey. So I've got my 7.5 pen, which I've just started, and I've ordered the 10 and the 12.5 milligram pen. Now, I have no intention of going up to 10 and 12 milligram pen. Hopefully not at all in the whole journey. But I'm going to use the short dosing on those pens. So basically, if I can, I want to stick to the 2.5 milligrams twice a week. So 5 milligrams a week, but using the 10 or the 12.5 pen. So this is going to extend the life of the pen. A 10 milligram pen on that basis should last twice as long. Plus, with the golden dose, an extra 2 weeks as well. Now, there's many people that say, oh, you shouldn't use the pen after 30 days once you start using it. And this could well be true. But there is another YouTuber which I follow, absolutely fantastic guy. His name's the Fat Old Climber, and he's been doing this for a long time now, extending the life of his pen, had no problems with it, and he's read into lots of things about it, and he says it's okay. He doesn't say you should do it, but he says he's doing it, and I'm going to say the same to you. It's what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you you should do it, but if it's a way of saving money and making the pen last longer, then 100% I'm going to do it. Because worst case scenario, there's two things. Worst case scenario, either A, the drug will stop working. So when you get to maybe week 6 or possibly even week 7, you'll inject yourself and there'll be no effects from the injection. Yeah, so it becomes useless to you and you won't lose any weight. You'll still get the hunger pains and everything else. And if that's the case, then I'll go on to the next pen. And the other thing to worry about, which I've read out on many YouTube sites, but not mainly YouTube sites, on actual the chemist sites, is about contamination. Now, when you inject yourself, there may be a tiny molecule of your fluid will go back in the pen. Now, that's not good, and that is contamination. But the way I think about it, and the way your man, the Fat Climber, talks about it, is that contamination is only your contamination, so it's come from you. So the risk is less because it's your own contamination you're getting back. And that to me sounds like a very sensible theory, and I'm going to run with that one because I think that should work. If it doesn't work, then I'll know about it soon and I'll pass that on to you, but that is my plan. I've worked out a very simple calculator to actually work out how many clicks per pen you need to get the dosage you require. Now, when I get back, I'll show you that and we can go through it. And it is a very simple way. On the other guy I'm telling you about, this guy called the Fat Old Climber, he has done an amazing web page where you can look at, and it will tell you everything you need to know about short dosing. I'll leave a link for that at the bottom of the page because you've got to see that. It's fantastic. But that is if you want to know the ins and outs of exactly how it works and what there is to know. So I didn't want to recreate that because I think, well, for one, I can't. The guy must be an absolute genius, the way he's worked out the titration and everything else. But I also think maybe for a lot of users like myself, it's more information than we can process. Yeah, there may be some people that love all the information and inside outs of everything else, and they'll look at that and think, wow, that's exactly what I need to know. But for me, I just want to know the very simple basics. But his site is amazing. You've got to see it. But I will leave a link to the bottom, so click on it, have a look, and it will tell you everything you need to know. But mine is just going to tell you, what I'm going to show you in my calculator is exactly how you work out how many clicks per pen. Doesn't matter what pen it is, whether it's a 5 milligram, 10, 15, 12.5. My simple sum that I use will work out the number of clicks you need. And when I get back home, I'll show you that on the big screen so you can see it. Obviously I'll have me talking in the background, but I'll show you on my big screen and how you actually do it yourself. So you can use the calculator on your phone, or if you're somebody my age or similar age to me, you'll use a calculator. Although most of it, the sums you can actually do in your head, they're very basic numbers. But some people like my age still have a thing called a calculator. If you're young out there, a calculator's a little square box with numbers on the front, a times, a multiply, a divide. No, it doesn't have all those. It's a little plastic box. If you're young, let me stop that, say that again. If you're young, a calculator is a separate thing from your phone. Now you're thinking, wow, separate from my phone? Yes, it is. We were lucky enough to get these probably back in 1970-ish, that sort of time. I was only 2 then, so I didn't get mine until about 77, 78. You know, and but this was after we learned how to do maths at school. Then this amazing thing come round called a Casio calculator. Other brands are available, and basically it's like a little plastic thing with numbers on it. Numbers 1 to 9 with a 0 at the bottom. And on the right hand side of that calculator you have 5 other buttons, 6 other buttons. You'll have a plus, a minus, a divide and a times and an equals sign. And basically you press those numbers and plus, or press the numbers and take away, minus, whatever you want to do, and it will tell you the answer to the basic sums. Now, ingenious, I know, but that's what we had back then, and it made our lives a lot easier. Not so much for me, because I was good at maths at school, but lots of people found them very, very useful. And we still have them now. When we're doing these big sums, we like to do them. Like when we're working out our budgets, how much a loaf of bread is, we'll get one of those and we'll work it out. No, not really. We don't work out how much a slice of bread is. Well, some of us might be a little bit tight and do that. I know we do have a few members from a country that might be tighter than others, but we're not going to go into that. I'll cut that bit out in the video. If I haven't cut it out, that's my mistake. I'm sorry if it's still in there. Now, yep, calculators, split dosing. Yes, so I'm going to show you how that works. Also, now, I've got to change my face now from a happy smiley face to a bit disappointed face. That's what I am, a bit disappointed. Now, this disappointed face is about other YouTube Mounjaro sites that I've been looking at. One particular one, I'm not going to give them a mention or say who they are, because I don't want to put them down too much, but they disappointed me. Basically what this is somebody has created a spreadsheet, which is great, lovely, love a spreadsheet, with all prices from different suppliers of Mounjaro across the UK. If you're watching from America, you're probably not interested in this, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So all the prices from across the UK for each different milligrams, 2.5 I, blah blah blah, which is wonderful. You think, oh, that's really good, but then they've chosen to sell it to us rather than just show us what it is. They want to sell that item to us. Now, we're struggling with finances as it is. It's not something that is going to be relevant for a long time. These things change every day. It's uncalled for, I think. Yes, if you want to take the time and effort and go out and do these things, get the prices together, that's great and that's wonderful and we love you for it. But that, you know, when we're trying to save money and work out how we're going to get through costs and everything else, why charge us for such a thing? Now that brings me on to my next point. On a separate website called Monj, M-O-N-J, which I mentioned in my last video, if you saw it, I speak about this website, Monj. I'm not sure if that's the pronunciation. It's as good as I'm going to get, yeah? But basically what that does is it shows you all the information that you can buy for a £5 on this website. And on top of that, showing the prices, the current price as of today, it's an AI thing, I think, that generates all the costs, puts them together, tells you where to get your your Mounjaro from, how much it is, and who the supplier is and what milligrams are available. But it also tells you on this website which suppliers are out of stock and of which products they're out of stock in. So you don't have to go through the process of actually ordering from these companies and not getting them. Yeah, so that in itself is worth looking at. I'm going to leave that on the screen in a minute. When I get back home, I'm going to show you that, show you the calculator, and show you a little other thing that I sorted out yesterday. But sadly it's not in London this week, it's somewhere else. I've got a little chat about London, which I did earlier on. I'll show you that now. Then when you're done with that, we'll come back here and I'll be on the way home. Well, I might even be home by the time you've seen that bit. So over to Paul in the chat I did 10 minutes ago that was going to be first and is now last. I'm such a clown. I haven't got any clips to you from London this week. Well, not today anyway. There will be later on in the week. But I wanted to tell you that there's still many Americans in London, which is fabulous. I love speaking to Americans. They've always got so much to say. So interesting, these chaps. But I wanted to tell you about one particular family I picked up this week. Very, I don't know, very pleased with themselves, you know, the way they are, and loud and very, what's the word to describe them? Just very American, yeah, which is great. You know, we love to celebrate our country. And whilst they were in my cab, I asked them, you know, why have you come to London? Oh, we'll come here to see the sights, she said to me. We love all the history and things here. I said, oh, right, okay. How long have you been here? Oh, 6 days, they said to me. Oh, excellent. 6 days, that's great. I said, what have you been to see since you've been here? They said, well, we've been to 3 cinemas. We went swimming a couple of times. And they've been to the M&M shop, the same as the one they've got back in New York. I said, okay. I said, so what things have you done that's all about London? I said, have you been to see Big Ben? Big what? They said to me, Big what? I said, you know, Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. Have you been there? Oh no, what's that then? They didn't know what that was. I said, okay. I said, well, today, at least today, you're going to the Tower of London, aren't you? And he said, yeah, we love to see these big buildings with the clocks on the top. I said, right. I said, do you not know what the Tower of London is? Yeah, we've looked it all up. We know where we're going. It's a very big building on the river, he said to me, with a clock on each side that you can see what the time is. I said, oh, okay. I said, you may be a little bit mixed up with things there. And he said to me, no, it's next to London Bridge. You know, the one that goes up. I said, oh, I see, yep. So I then explained to them London Bridge is Tower Bridge and the Tower of London is a castle. And they said, no, it's not. They were totally against what I was telling them. I said, okay, well, we'll get there in a minute and we'll see. And of course, when we get there, the Tower of London is where obviously the crown jewels were kept back in the day, and they still are, some sort of version of them. I'm not sure if it's the real ones, but there are crown jewels kept there. And it's a castle going back to medieval time. And I advised them once they were finished in there, they actually had a tour guide there to show them around. Just to hop on the boat and get the boat through the middle of the town, and they'll see where Big Ben is, and hopefully that will sort of ring true with them. But they wasn't interested in that at all. They said, no, because we're going swimming a bit later. The kids want to go swimming. Now, usually you think, oh, okay, kids, they probably would, because the kids like that sort of stuff. But their children were teenagers. So I just found it all a bit bizarre. That was one lunatic thing. Another thing was, out of the maybe 15 American people that I've carried around the last 5 or 6 days, 2 of them thought I was Australian. Where'd they get this from? But that's life, eh? You gotta love it, ain't you? You gotta love it. Another cab driver friend of mine was telling me that he had a family in his taxi. They wanted to go and see. These were not Americans. These were other people. I think they're actually from the UAE. They wanted to see Sherlock Holmes's museum, and they said, once we're finished there, could you take us to see his grave? So the cab driver had to explain to them that there won't be a grave because he's not real. But that was another story altogether. See, that's the kind of stuff we get day in, day out, doing our jobs, and that's why I love the job. I don't mean to talk too much about my job, but that's why I love my job, and that's the sort of stuff that I talk to my mate Liam about when we're on our holidays or whatever, you know. Right, so I'm going to finish off my walk now. I'm sure you heard enough from me out here in the sticks, but when I get back home, I've got a little bit more stuff to show you, and it's going to be about the split dose, how that works, and I'll show you a little video and where the website is, the Monj one. It's very important, it's really worth looking at. So this is the calculator, very basic looking. Up the top here, the top left, got simple dose calculator, that's what I call it. You've got number of clicks per pen, and that's always going to be 60. Then we've got the pen size in milligrams. On this example, I've got it down as 10. And the milligrams required, which I put in as 5. Now, by doing this, it gives us a total number of clicks created as 30. Yeah? Right. The way it's working, so where we've got their pen size, if I change that to a pen size of 5, and we wanted 3.75 milligrams. That's telling us 60 for the clicks again. Size of the pen is 5, and I'm after 3.75 milligrams. So it tells you the number of clicks required is 45. Okay, that's how that's doing that. But basically the sum is here at the bottom. So on your calculator, what you do if you wanted to work this out is you say number of clicks on the pen. It's always going to be 60. So you type in 60. Then you divide it by the size of your pen. So if your pen like this one is a 5 milligram pen, you divide 60 by 5 and then multiply by the number of milligrams required. So we're multiplying that 5 by 3.75. So by doing that sum, it will come out as 45. It is very, very basic stuff. 60 divided by 5 times by 3.75 is 45. If you sort of copy those things down, if you require that, that will tell you whatever size pen you've got, that will tell you exactly how that works. I'll do one more example. Okay, in this example, we've got obviously the number of clicks doesn't change. This is a 12.5 milligram pen, and we're saying we want 2.5 milligrams out of that pen. So again, it will say 60 divided by 12.5 times by 2.5, which is the number of milligrams we want, gives us 12. So it'll be 12 clicks you need to use on that pen. It's, like I said, very, very basic, very easy to use. If you sort of wrote down just the bit at the bottom here, what to press on your calculator, the thing I showed you earlier, that will tell you what you need to do. Yeah, number of clicks per pen, divide by pen size, multiplied by milligrams required or needed, and it gives you the answer that you need, number of clicks. Okay, so that's the very, very simple calculator for number of clicks. Now I just want to show you the Monj website. If you just hold on. So this is the Monj website, monj.co.uk. You should see that at the top of the screen, and this is what you get when you first go into it. Now what you need to do is click on the button where it says discount prices comparison. Now this takes you to a site where it shows you all of the UK based suppliers, and as you can see, if we scroll up here on the left hand side, very top one there is Asda, and it's saying Asda 2.5 milligrams is £133.48. The 5 milligrams, 7.5, 10, 12.5 and 15 are all currently listed as out of stock. OOS, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. This is the perfect way to find the right prices without having to pay somebody else for that information. Yeah, and it, like I said earlier, it does show you which ones are out of stock and which ones are not, so it's really worthwhile. Forgive my dark glasses, I can't see without them because I'm a little bit old nowadays. So this is really worthwhile. So if I wanted to see the cheapest place to get 10 milligram, I just click on the one there that says 10 milligram at the top of the screen, and it will put them in order, starting there, this one there, £155, and that's at the Z surgery, wherever Z surgery is. I'm sure somebody will know where that is, but they're all listed there. Easiest way to do this is to actually go onto the website yourself on your phone or on your computer and have a look and see what you want, because as you can see, there are lots of things here that are out of stock. So don't pay somebody else £5 for this information, it's all here. Okay, now that just about finishes me off for today. I know it's been an extremely long video, but you waited a long time for it, so you deserve a nice long video. And there's no Mrs. Jones. There was going to be something else on the end of it, but I thought, well, I can't allow it to go on any longer. It's far too long as it is. I'll show you that on my next video, which will probably be on Sunday, if not before. If I can do it before, I'll get it out before. But as for now, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate you watching, and love you all. Good night, people. See you soon.